Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to another video. And today, we're talking about Liverpool Roma. I'm doing a reaction video because it was an absolute bonkers game. And not only that, I was streaming whilst the game was going on. We did like a watch-along. There was like 500 people. It was spectacular. We had such a laugh. It was great hanging out with you guys. And I thought I'd give my thoughts on a YouTube video for those people who sort of couldn't make it, or just want to sort of just bathe in the glory that was Liverpool for about 80 minutes. So the team was pretty much as expected. I think every fan would have picked that team to start. And I assumed, let me get this out there first right now. I don't really watch Italian football. I don't know much about Roma other than what they did in the quarterfinals. I'd assumed that they would come to Anfield knowing what's gone on and how we're playing at the moment and just be, shut up shop, be careful, especially that first 15 minutes when we try to come out the gate and maybe get a set piece because we're weak at those or just a counter-attack and not go too nuts. But I was surprised. First 20 minutes, it was a pretty even and open game, which is the big thing that took me back. They were playing like a 3 at the back or 5 at the back with wing backs, however you want to call it. And the trouble they did and what started to happen after the first 20 minutes was Kolarov, who anybody that's watched Man City knows, he does love an attack and he doesn't really like defending and he does like a shot. He'll shoot from anywhere. That's his MO. That's basically his USP, is I'll shoot from anywhere, boss. So the first 20 minutes was open. We had a couple of half chances. They had a half chance. The first big chance was Kolarov's sort of long-range shots that seemed to carry us off guard. Like I said, why that would catch off? It's Kolarov. He's gonna shoot wherever he is. And he sort of went too far the other way, and then he got his hand back, but he had, jelly fingers. Instead of just palming it over, he sort of just flapped at it a little bit. It flicked off the post. That was a bit of a danger sign, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a good game. There's going to be goals here, because they're not playing tight. We're going for it, but we are, we do concede the odd goal, as the pundits like to remind us this season. But the first goal, after about 20 minutes, we started taking control. We started creating chances. But Sadio Mane decided today was not going to be his day. He missed a couple of sitters throughout the game. He also missed a couple of half chances. One of them was it cut back to him, and just instead of wrapping his foot round it and just trying to place it into the corner there, he sort of just hit it full on into the stratosphere like he was a defender making a clearance in League 2, right? And I was like, okay, maybe he's not. And then he started trying a bit too hard. He got caught offside when we were on a really good counter-attack, and I felt for the guy. But the first goal was from the Egyptian king himself, Salah, and it was he just cut it in, left peg, curled into right in the top corner, underside of the bar. Absolutely stunning finish, doing what Mo Salah does this year. For me, not as an all-round player, because he needs to do it on a consistent basis, but for me, this season, he's in the top 3 in the world. He is among the Messis and Ronaldos, and I'm not saying he's as good as those, because those two have done it for years and years, but he needs to do that if he really wants to be up in that top echelon. But he is just absolutely on fire. I remember when he first joined, and it was like the first few games, it was like, he's really good if he can only finish. And now he's got 40-odd goals. He's doing all right for himself. So after the first goal, Roma just started to crumble. They were leaving 3 at the back versus our 3 attackers, and that is just suicidal in my opinion. They were giving them no protection whatsoever. And then Salah scored again with a Bobby Firmino, a little through ball on a counter-attack, and he just dinks the goalkeeper Alisson into the corner. It's 2-0 just before half-time. Brilliant. We were playing so well, I didn't want the half-time to come, because I was like, well, the Roma manager's going to go, right, fucking what? Cheeky, calm, concentrate. What the fuck are you doing, boys? We need to calm down. We need to play more solid football. Give the centre-back some fucking help versus the 3 attackers. But apparently, none of that happened, because they were just as open after the half-time whistle. And then Salah decided, I think it was out of pity, it was a lovely Trent Alexander-Arnold ball down the line. He broke the offside trap, acres of space, and I thought he was just going to left foot corner again. But he saw Sadio Mane looking sad after all his misses and offsides and just laid it back to him. And Mane places it into the corner. Everybody rejoices. We're 2-0 up. It's all 3-0 up. It's all good. Everything's wonderful. And from then on, we were just absolutely dominant. We could have scored another 3 or 4 goals. Like, if Mane could finish in this game, we'd have scored 7, 8 goals. It was ridiculous. And then Bobby Firmino scores. Salah. I've got notes, and I can't even read my own fucking notes because, you know, I'm old and my brain doesn't work. Mo Salah allowed him to tap the ball into an empty net, right? Bobby Firmino scores, who's just... I'll give the scores at the end of this, how I rate all our players, but he's just brilliant. I love Bobby Firmino. And then Bobby Firmino scores again. It was a corner. I didn't even write that down. Brilliant. James Milner with a corner, I think it was, and a little flicked header. Lovely stuff. 69 minutes, 5-0 up in a Champions League semi-final. I was thinking it just shouldn't be this easy. This is like supposedly the best 4 teams in Europe or thereabouts this year. What's going on? You know, this isn't... I'm not used to this. What's going to happen? And then, obviously, you know, we had a little bit of fun the last 10 minutes just to keep it interesting for the second leg. That's what I'm sort of seeing. Karius made a decent save after that. And then you could see that they were starting to, I think, at 5-0 down, what have you got to lose? You've got to get an away goal. And then there was a lofted ball from Nangolan. And I think it was Lovren who got caught under it. And he jumped too early. And it landed over his head. Dzeko was there to take a touch, fire it into the corner, and after that, Liverpool went, oh my God, lads, I think we can concede goals. This isn't good. And the last 10 minutes was just pretty shit from Liverpool. They lost their heads a little bit. Rather than just sort of putting your foot on the ball and keeping possession, passes weren't coming off, it wasn't going well, and then we had the penalty with James Milner handball, and I think... It's one of those weird ones. If you're a Liverpool fan watching it, you go, oh, come on, that was never a penalty. And if you're a Roma fan, you're like, yeah, that's a penalty. Let's say it was a soft penalty. It hit his arm. He didn't move it out, but he never moved it away. And it hit his body and then his arm. Could have gone either way, that one. But they had the penalty. And what a penalty it was. Diego Perotti just sort of scooped it into the top corner. It was disgustingly amazing penalty. As calm as you like, to make it 5-2. And then the last sort of 5-10 minutes was just us trying not to concede more. Ragnar Klavan came on and did well. It was, you know, I would have bitten your hand off for that before the game. 5-2, you know, going into the second leg, I'm very confident, unusually confident, because I don't see how they're going to stop us scoring. The way it's set at the moment, they need a nice 3-0 win. They're known for that. And they'll see them through. But to get 3 goals against Liverpool, you need to go quite attacking. And we're really good on the counter-attack. And I just don't see them stopping Salah and Firmino. Maybe Mane. But the other two, I just don't see them scoring. If we score a goal, then they have to score a bunch of goals. And I just don't see that happening. So... I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be fine. So I'm going to go through my team, give them a arbitrary rating out of 10. Karius in goal, I don't think he was to blame for either of the goals. He did have that horrible flap against Kolarov, and I think that could have... It's one of those ones where the defence probably looked at him and went, Jesus Christ, Karius, what the fuck is that? And maybe get a bit nervous. But luckily we started playing after that and it was all okay. But that was nervy. He didn't make any great... He made a couple of decent saves. His distribution was meh. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. On the left-hand side, Andy Robertson, he's just one of my favourite players. He just sort of shows that if you work your... You don't have to be the most technically gifted player in the world if you have the work ethic that Andy Robertson does, because he works his arse off to grind where he is today. He's quickly becoming one of my favourite players. I love him. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. On the other side, we had Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's just starting to prove to me that he could become world-class. There was questions asked of him after a couple of games where one of them was against the Man United, where Rashford, he was just positionally wrong, a right back, and got done by Rashford for funsies. And people were starting to go, okay, well, he's good, but you know, he's got to sort that out. And since then, he just seems to have learnt his lesson. He seems to play better. He's just as good going forward as he is defensively. He had that lovely ball to Salah that then created the assist. I think he's special. What is he, 19 or something? Special young player. I'm going to give him 9 out of 10. Lovren. He did Lovren things, really, didn't he? He was okay, but he's definitely his mistake led to the goal. He basically was tracking back and just jumped too early. He should have turned, rather than sort of walking backwards, he should have just turned a bit, run, because it was going way over his head. And that's just bad positioning, bad thought, bit desperate. And so for me, I'll give him a 7. He was okay the rest of the time. Van Dijk is just sheer quality. If we could clone him and make him another centre-back partner like that, I think we'll be so much better defensively. I think for me, that's still the big question going into next season. Another Van Dijk to go with Van Dijk. I don't mind keeping Lovren. He is on a lot of money, but I don't mind him as a third, fourth choice, along with Matip as probably the third choice. But if he's on 100k a week, then maybe we might get rid and get... I also see Joe Gomez playing more centrally next season anyway. So, so Van Dijk, I'm going to give a solid 9 to. In central midfield, the Ox, I won't give a rating to. Get well soon, Ox. That looked like a nasty one, a sort of shin kick that he did, and he got taken off, so he might miss the rest of the season. I don't know how bad that is yet. Henderson, he's probably the most polarising player at Liverpool. He's Marmite. He's love him or hate him. I'm actually, ironically, not in either of those two camps. I'm really on the fence. I think he's just good. I think he's a decent player. He made a couple of good passes. He made a couple of good tackles, but he also gave away the ball a couple of times, especially that late on. The team performance was good today. I'm chalking him generally as a whole. I'll give him an 8 today. He's normally one of those players that's just like a solid 7. I think it's not desperate to replace him, but I think in time, after we fixed our defensive problems and then maybe more back up to the attacking players. We've got Naby Keita coming in, but Emre Can's probably leaving. So once all those things are fixed, I think the next to go might be Henderson for me. Then we got Gini Wijnaldum. I was a little bit worried because he had to come on early as a sub, but he was majestic. Other than that I gave Henderson I'll give him an 8 for the team performance. Gini Wijnaldum, I think, was brilliant. He was absolutely superb when he came on. He did the job perfectly. The only downside was he found himself in a striking position at one point, and a ball come across, and he missed it entirely when it should have been a tap-in. It'd be nice for him, I think, to get himself a couple of goals to sort of remind him that he can do that as well. But every other aspect of the game, I thought he was brilliant. I'm going to give him a 9. James Milner, I want to see him in goal, because I'm quite convinced that James Milner can pretty much play anywhere. Obviously, he spent a lot of his career at central midfield, but we proved he's actually a really good right-footed left-back. He can play on the wings, not the paciest. He's decent at set pieces. I wish he was a bit younger, so we could have him for a few more years, but absolutely spectacular. I'm going to give him a 9. And then we get to the majestic front three. Well, Salah's a 10. He got 2 goals and 2 assists, right? That's for me is a no-brainer. He is, like I said, current form in the top 3 players in the world. Bobby Firmino, this season he's added goals to his game, but I was always a massive fan. If a lot of pundits, maybe a year ago, even 6 months ago, 9 months ago, were sort of saying, okay, yeah, but if Liverpool want to be a really top team, they need a striker that scores more goals. But actually, that's not what his position is. It's a very particular position. There's so many times he'll be the one winning the ball deep in midfield. Just because he's a striker doesn't mean he has to score a load of goals. And this season he has added a bunch of goals to his game. But even before then, I thought he was spectacular because he did so much more for how our tactic works. He gets a 10, absolutely sensational. Mane, weird Mane, because sometimes I just want to strangle him, other times I want to cuddle him. He missed a couple of glorious opportunities early on. He scored. He also missed a couple of half chances. He looked so relieved when he did score, bless him. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He should have done better with what he had. But he also got involved in the play pretty well. It would have been a 6 other than, the rest of it was okay. And he did get the tap-in goal from Salah for the Salah assist. So I'm going to give him a 7. But like I said, going into the second leg, I'm pretty confident because I can't see them not keeping us out. Salah or Firmino or even Mane is going to get himself a goal, and then they're going to need a bunch. So I think it's going to be something like 2-2 if I had to put a prediction on it now. But there we go. There are my thoughts for the Liverpool game. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm clearly not from Liverpool. So if this is your first Liverpool video that you're watching of me, I've heard all the jokes. You can, I've been a Liverpool fan for 30, because I'm old, you see, 30 sort of 2 years. I'm welling up. I've been, all my life, all my adult life, I've been a Liverpool fan. But, you're welcome to do the standard jokes if you so wish. But I'd like to know what you thought of the game, what your ratings of players are, what you think. Give me your predictions of the second game, so we can all laugh at each other for our bad prediction. That would be wonderful. And like I said, if this is your first video, do make sure you say hello in the comments. Also, totally forgot. Just went, poof. What was I going to say? Oh, also, let me know if you want to hear more of me doing these sort of videos. I don't normally do these sort of round-up goal reaction videos to Liverpool games, but let me know if you want to sort of see more of these or anything like that. That would be really helpful. I quite enjoyed it, so I wouldn't mind doing more, talking about Liverpool and stuff. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.